Welcome to Let's Get Real with Tina, Bill.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Let's Get Real, and I'm Tina Bill. So again, I have my very lovely daughter,
Hannah,
in the studio with me. And if you've missed the last two podcasts, I want to encourage you. You need to come back. Come on. Go back to the last two because you need to hear these. We're talking about family, working together, how that looks. Can that work? Well, yes, of course it can work. And these podcasts are really cool because you're getting my perspective, but you're also getting Hannah's perspective. You know, the child from her point of view, how she felt or what that looked like for her. And I think that's really important and much needed sometimes because we always hear the mom or the dad or whatever. We need to hear the kids.
Yeah.
We need to hear the feedback on both sides of this. And like I said, I mean, I wasn't expecting so many kind words, and I am not Hannah, am I paying you?
No, with love.
With love. So today we want to talk about working together, and we've covered working together in like our physical jobs.
Yeah.
So the first one was Dr. Patel's office, and we bought a business. We bought Fiery Music and Lessons in Sand Springs Music Store, which is fantastic. We have lots of fun because it ties us into our music.
Yeah.
I started out writing songs and singing back when Hannah, well, before she was born.
Yeah.
And really enjoyed that and loved that, spending time with God and that sort of thing. And then literally, it wasn't until you were about 18 that, and I was always kind of like, well, Hannah, don't you want to sing? Or do you want to, she's like, no. And if you know Hannah's always been our little free spirit.
Yeah.
She just enjoys life, our little social butterfly. And Isaiah was a little more structured and a little more like he had to have a schedule and a plan for that day.
Yeah.
Hannah was like, let's wake up and see where the wind takes us.
Yes.
You know, let's go. And so for Hannah, you know, and because I sang, and she would go with me to my, you know, where I would have booked events that I would be singing at and all that, right?
Yeah.
And she would run around and enjoy all the socializing.
Yeah.
She loved it, right?
I ran the CD player for you back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
When we literally had no sound system, we had a CD player and a microphone and an amplifier,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So she was engineer.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I'm like, do you not ever want to sing or try to sing? She's like,
Nope.
nope, she didn't.
No.
So let's go back.
Yep.
Hannah, literally at 18, it was just kind of crazy. It was like this little light bulb or this little switch popped on.
Yeah.
And you came to me and you're like, you know, Mom, just nonchalant. You know, Mom, I think I kind of want to sing. I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
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 So take us back, Hannah.
Yeah. So in high school, everybody, you know, when you're really junior, going into your senior year, like the summer, everybody starts talking about college and all this stuff. And I was always the kid that was like, Mom, you send me to college, you're going to waste your money. Like, I hated school. Like, I love the social aspect of it, obviously. But it didn't make sense to me that I could work and make money and I didn't have to go to school. But obviously I'm very thankful I graduated high school, thank the Lord. Barely. No, just kidding. Really we started talking to my friends and stuff, and I was like, oh man, I could go to OU and I could get like a degree in music, like minor in music and major in business, because obviously you have to have business, mind and stuff like that. And then I realized, college, no, I'm not going to do that. You know?
Actually have to do schoolwork.
Exactly. Yeah, you actually have to do schoolwork. And they were like, oh, yeah, the first 2 years is just getting you. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just going straight into it, that type of thing. And so it was literally my senior year. I was getting ready to graduate, and I came to you, and I was like, Mom, I think I want to sing. And you were like, really? Like, is this for real? And I was like, yeah, like, I want to sing. And I had always, like you said, been there with you. I had ran the CD player. I had run the sales, as we called them, of selling your T-shirts and your, and the CDs and everything. The merch. Yeah. Get the merch. And so I don't know. It was just always kind of one of those things. I was like your little roadie. And then one day I was just like, and I would sing them from stage, like, when you were singing, I'd be back behind you. I'd be your background, very far back in your background. And I don't know. It literally just clicked, and it was like, God was saying, this is what you're supposed to do. And I said, okay. I mean, I've never done this before. Like, I've been around it my whole life, but I've never done it. And it was literally right after I graduated. That's when we sang out at the winery.
Yeah, that's right.
And I sang my first song, which was American Honey. And like, I'll never forget that
my
experience. It was at the Cattlemen's Association.
That's right.
And I'll never forget it. And it scared me like crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I got through the song. I can't even remember half of it, like that part.
You did.
I just remember, that was what I was going to do. And it really like, it went from there. And I think that you were the biggest, I know you were the biggest part of it. Like, you always said, you can do it. And I'm like, but Mom, like, have you heard that song? And you're like, well, just practice it. Like, you can do it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but no, that doesn't even fit my voice. You're like, well, what does that even mean? Like, you can do it, And I said, well, okay. And so I started playing my guitar and singing and stuff like that. And then we started playing and going to Minuteman and Ron's, and we were loving it.
So we had a world tour, right, Hannah? People
world of Sand
tour of
Springs.
Italy. We toured Sand Springs, and that was the deal. I remember the first time you sang American Honey,
Oh my gosh.
and I remember thinking, though, you had, and I always said this to everyone. I said her voice is sweeter than honey.
Yeah.
I said she has the most beautiful, like this sweet, innocent, pure, loving voice comes out of you. And here I am, I sound like blues and rock or whatever, bring on the 90s hair bands or whatever it was. And here's Hannah, she comes out with this very sweet American Honey. I was like, whoa, that's great. Now I did some country songs too, but so there was that time that you were just like, all right, it's time to spread my wings and fly,
Yeah.
right? I sang that song, remember?
Yeah.
Broken
Oh, yes.
Wing, Martina.
Yep. Yeah. Where the wings.
That's it. So we kind of started this little traveling thing.
Yeah.
And we sang at Minuteman Pizza here in Sand Springs every Friday night.
Yeah.
And that was just like the highlight of our week. I mean,
Yeah.
Hannah would practice, and I would practice, and we would go sing to the people eating pizza.
Yeah.
And then we branched out a little bit, and we made it over to Ron's Hamburgers. Remember
Yes.
that?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, and I want to say this. So, just really quick, Hannah actually, my kids started working at a very young age.
Yeah.
My husband and I encouraged that because we knew that with responsibility, they would learn the value of money and that sort of things. And so Isaiah started working at the winery, and I think he was like, 15? It was before he could drive
yeah,
because
something like
Mike
that.
would come get him. And then you started working at Ron's Hamburgers after school.
I worked at the insurance agency filing.
You did that first,
And
right?
then- yeah, and then I worked at Minuteman.
At
That was my
Minuteman.
first waitressing
Okay.
job. And then Ron's
And
was
then
my
Ron's.
full after school every day.
Okay. So, that's one thing that I want to say to the parents is,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to put your kids out there.
Yeah.
If you're raising them right, if you're putting the foundation, the word of God in them, and you are being straightforward with them, your love, your kindness, but you're also strength and like, hey, this is who we are.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to put your kids out there. But I'm going to tell you, if you're not fully equipping your kids with the warfare armor that they need
Yeah.
to stand up and not just be part of the status quo group,
Yep.
don't put them out there.
Nope.
But because they'll probably get eaten alive.
Yeah.
And then you're going to come and you're going to go, I don't know what's wrong with my kid. Okay. I'm not beating up on anybody.
No,
right,
no,
Hannah? This
no.
is kind of straight talk,
Yeah,
right?
it's truth. Yeah.
This is the let's get real part, right?
Yeah.
This is how I am. This is how I've always talked to my kids.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but we put our kids out there and they learned how to just be adults and communicate and stand on their own 2 feet.
Yeah.
So Hannah, I'm in my bed. I think was listening to Christian TV or reading my Bible or both, because sometimes I don't. You came in my room and you said, Mom, there's a missions trip that I really want to go on. And Zach invited me to
Yep.
go, but there's only 2 openings. And Hannah, I want you to tell the story. Okay, here we go.
There was only 2 openings, and the one, and it was funny because Zach's like, oh yeah, here's the, I can't even remember what the other one was right now. I
was
think
the
it was,
cook?
oh yeah, the cook. Okay, I was gonna say, I think it was something, which I love to cook, and that would have been great, but that's a lot of people too. And then he said the other one is leading worship. And I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to have to go be the cook because I want to go on this mission trip.
Well,
Like,
you wasn't even going to go at
yeah,
all.
or I wasn't going to go. And that's when that's literally the phrase, well, why not? And I was like, what do you mean, why not? Like, what is that even supposed to mean? Why not? And you're like, well, why not? Why can't you do it?
Well, so you came in and you were like, Mom, these are the two options. And obviously I can't lead worship.
Yeah.
That was actually what you said.
Yeah.
You said, well, obviously, Mom, I can't go and lead worship, so I would have to be a cook.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, it wasn't that was dishonorable, but that wasn't like the, you know,
I wasn't, yeah.
that wasn't like something in your heart that you're like, I can't wait to go and peel potatoes.
Yeah.
So then what snapped in that moment?
I think it was just you telling me, like, you can do it. And I was like, maybe I can do it, you know? And then you continued to encourage me and just say, again, why not? Like, are you there for yourself or are you there for God? And I was like, well, I'm not there for myself because I definitely need God to help me through this because Lord Jesus. But, you know, and I just continued to think about it. And literally I sent Zach a text and I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I had no idea what I was doing. But then, you know, I prepared as best as I could and went on the trip, and it was one of the greatest experiences. And now, you know, I get to lead worship and do the things that I love. And I never would have done that if you didn't say that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love to hear that. And I want other people to be encouraged by that.
Yeah.
You know what? Don't put boundaries and limits on yourself.
For sure.
God has great plans for you, but you also have to work and you have to hone that skill. You have to sharpen that skill and hone that skill. And I'm saying that to myself because my whole entire life I have had to push and push and push in everything I've ever done. So again, guys, Hannah, we're out of time again. We got to figure this out with YouTube. YouTube has been our nemesis. So anyway, guys, we're going to pick up where we left off. But until next time, bye.